Hello everyone, my name is Humphrey Elias from Aga Khan University, taking ECD cohort 2020. And welcome to a mini lecture presentation on Waldorf education system in early childhood. The following are the learning outcomes. After the end of the mini lecture, one should be able to understand what is Waldorf education approach, to know academic areas in the Waldorf curriculum, assessment, teachers' qualities, as well as how it fits, how Waldorf fits in East African context. Introduction. Waldorf education system was introduced for the first time in Germany in 1919 by Rudolf Steiner. The Steiner's development developed a theory which suggests the 7-year cycle, as we'll see in the next slide. The approach was based in his philosophy of anthroposophy, which advocated for three orders that encourages interdependent functioning of economic, political, and spiritual spheres. The Steiner's 7-year cycle ranges from 0 to 7 years, where physical development is the key. Also, the second cycle is from age 7 to 14, where academic instructions begins. So we'll deal only with from 7 to 8 years, because that's early years lying. Also, the third cycle is from age 14 to 21, where critical thinking and intellectualism begins. There's a video, but there is not enough time to say it. Waldorf approach focuses on teaching the whole child. The children are taught to think for themselves, so they make these children to be independent. Learning occurs through 5 senses, so they touch things, they taste, they, practical things. They play and imitation are the important aspects of learning. Children are allowed to learn at their own pace, because every child has got his or her own zone of proximal development, as it was put forward by Vygotsky. Peer-to-peer relationship is encouraged, and also real-life environment is very important in this world of education. Waldorf kindergarten, the students begin from 3 to 6 years. The curriculum includes play, storytelling, daily activities such as baking bread and cleaning, and other activities which resembles home activities which are real. Also, it's practical oriented, as we have already said that this approach relies in the importance of environment to the children. Literacy. Picture books are not used in Waldorf education. The fairy tales and folklores, fables and poems are told aloud by teachers, so there are no books. Children are able to use their imagination. Also, it encourages non-academic for early years. It's non-academic, so arts and music what are emphasized. Art and music are encouraged to foster imagination. Also, the teacher responsibilities and qualities, there are 3 qualities and responsibilities, which are reverence, enthusiasm, and protection aspects, whereby by reverence is where the teacher has to act in ways that the child can imitate the good things, good values that the children can take, so that they become the responsible citizens. Also, by enthusiastic, teachers have to be passionate about their teaching activities, so that the children can learn from them easily. Also, the teacher should be protective in terms of social, political, and psychological aspects. How do teachers assess? In Waldorf education system, students are not given tests. So they are given, their progression is measured through observation. So there's only observation which is done, and no tests are done. The teachers work with parents to set goals for students. So it's a curriculum which depends on teachers and parents. Aspects of the approach to be deconstructed, that the values, the aspects which have been seen in this Waldorf education system that are to be deconstructed are the issue of inclusion is not well established. So things like this, children with disabilities, they are not mentioned clearly. The Steiner's spiritual world of view passed to teachers and students. So it's based on spiritual matters more than academic matters. So sometimes it brings challenges. Bullying is not well addressed in the Waldorf system because sometimes you see maybe the children are playing, so they are fighting one another. The teacher is not allowed to interfere or to intervene in such a environment because the teacher could make learning not to go on. So if you let that, the teacher let that action go on, it might ruin something because, for example, a child is being beaten, so he learns a lesson which is not good. The children are not taught to read until they are 7 or 8, so this one is to be deconstructed because they only concentrate with physical development at the age of 0 to 7 and at least 8, and not these academic activities. The applicability of the approach to East Africa is that it can be best approach for East African context, for it inculcates the child the culture of self-reliance. The children are becoming self-reliant. Also, it prepares the learners to be active, responsible citizens, as we have seen. The practical approach gives learners the ability to live and adapt well with their surroundings. It can be used to educate children of the poor communities like those in Eastern African communities. And thank you very much for listening.